Have you ever looked at someone and just wondered how on earth are they so incredibly resilient? Well, welcome to today's Explainer. We're going to dive right into the psychology behind building a totally unshakable mind. We're pulling from some really fascinating research to build you a mental blueprint right from the ground up, basically setting the stage for a mindset that absolutely nothing can penetrate. It's going to be a game changer.
So let me ask you this. Can any difficulty break you? Be completely honest with yourself here. We so often walk around with this false sense of security, right? Kind of assuming we're tough enough to handle whatever life throws our way. But reality check, a lot of us are just one really bad day, or literally one bad comment, away from a total mental spiral. Our source material today is really going to shake up that complacency and show you that we usually completely misunderstand where the real threat even comes from.
It's super easy to just assume that a tough mind is all about enduring pain. But the sources frame it quite differently. Think about a weak mind for a second. It's essentially a puppet. It's incredibly easy for the rest of the world to just manipulate and control. But a strong mind? The research literally describes it as dangerous and untouchable. Now, why dangerous? Well, because when your mind is truly strong, you're completely out of everyone else's control. You basically become a force of nature. It flips the whole script. The real battle isn't you against the world. It's you against your own internal weaknesses.
So, to get you to that totally untouchable state, here's our roadmap for today's Explainer. 1. The real battle, your mind. 2. Write your own story. 3. Guarding the mind's door. 4. Stop caring about people. And 5. The master key, self-permission. Let's just go ahead and unlock these step by step. Okay, diving right into our first milestone. Section 1. The real battle, your mind. The massive shift here is realizing that the world is not your villain. Your own lack of boundaries is.
And that brings us right to milestone 2, write your own story. This is all about laying the absolute bedrock of our mental blueprint.
The concept here is that true power comes from internal identity. Never let external tags dictate who you are. Look, society absolutely loves to hand out these little tags, right? Based on your job, your relationships, maybe even your past mistakes. But the source material is super adamant here. Do not hand anyone else the pen to write your story. Because when you actually start setting your own internal standards, this magical thing happens. You completely stop caring about the external perception. And ironically, the world's perception of you, it automatically shifts to respect that new strong boundary. So, now that you've claimed your identity, how do you actually protect it? That brings us to Section 3, guarding the mind's door.
We desperately need these defensive walls because, as the research highlights, the real damage is not caused by big storms, but by small, lingering negative remarks. Just think about it. Have you ever had a perfectly productive day just completely ruined because a coworker made some passing, passive-aggressive comment? And then that one tiny little comment just loops in your brain for hours while you're agonizingly drafting and redrafting some supposedly polite email sign-off. We always prep for the major tragedies in life, the big storms. But we end up leaving the windows wide open to the daily drizzle of negativity that slowly rots our mental foundation.
Try thinking of it this way. Your mind is literally your house. You would never, ever just leave your front door wide open and let random strangers walk in with muddy shoes, start rearranging your furniture and eating your snacks, right? No way. So why on earth do you let toxic acquaintances walk right into your head and rearrange your thoughts? Not every voice deserves an entry, and definitely not every comment deserves a response. You are the bouncer of your own mind, period.
Now, when those big storms actually do hit, you've got two choices. You can have an emotional reaction, which is really the hallmark of a weak, easily manipulated mind, or you can choose a thoughtful response. And that is the signature of true power. The sources point out something fascinating. Your real strength isn't shown when everything is going perfectly. It's shown when everything is falling apart and you somehow remain utterly calm. Reacting just gives your power away to the situation. But responding means you maintain your power and you get to decide how the whole situation will be handled.
All right, let's move on to our fourth secret. Section 4. Stop caring about people. It is time to end the exhausting cycle of people-pleasing.
Okay, I found this next data point genuinely shocking. 60%. This isn't just some random figure, guys. This is a jarring wake-up call regarding our daily mental energy drain. A staggering 60% of our mental energy is routinely wasted on worrying about whether other people are happy with us, which leaves a measly 40% for our own personal growth, our own goals, and our peace of mind. Just imagine the absolute unstoppable potential you'd unleash if you reclaim that 60%
and reinvested it entirely back into yourself. You'd literally be a completely different person in a matter of months. People-pleasing is a total energy vampire. It's time to cut it off for good. And just like that, we have arrived at the final step of our roadmap. Section 5, the master key, self-permission.
So, what does this mean? Self-permission is all about giving yourself the internal approval and validation that you constantly seek from the outside world. The profound realization here is that the ultimate power you've been searching for, it was never actually out there. It wasn't in your boss's praise, or your partner's validation, or society's applause. It was always waiting right inside you, just ready to be activated. You literally just have to grant yourself the permission to be great, to be flawed, and to be entirely, unapologetically yourself.
But to actually turn that key, we've got to defeat 3 final bosses, the 3 fears of judgment. What will people think? What if they get angry? And what if someone judges? These are your mental jailers. It's wild when you realize that every single time you say yes to these external fears, you are actively saying no to your own dreams. Self-permission is the weapon that destroys these jailers. It's that ultimate realization that their judgment has absolutely zero physical impact on your reality, unless, of course, you allow it to. Which brings us to the end of today's explainer, and honestly, to the only question that truly matters. Who will be chosen first today? When you wake up, when you make a decision, when you face a challenge, are you going to choose society's expectations and the fear of judgment, or are you finally going to choose yourself? It might seem like a really small daily choice, but man, it holds the power to completely change the trajectory of your entire life. So start building your blueprint today. Stay focused, stay strong, and I'll see you in the next explainer.